This video is made for adult collectors because
a deal had to be made with Megatron.
Two more leaders. I need two more after this and I'll have all of them. Well, all the molds. This one was going to be hard to track down, so I gotta give a massive thank you to Thew from Thew's Awesome Transformers Reviews for shooting this my way. Not literally, like he mailed it to me. He was like, oh, I don't need this anymore, and I know you want all the leaders, so do you want it? And I was like, yeah, so massive thanks to him for selling this to me, and please go check him out. His channel will be linked below. Also linked below is my Patreon if you want to support the channel even further, and again, you don't have to if you don't want to, but it is there. Now, Ironhide is a leader I was very much looking forward to, and he isn't that great, and I knew that already, but he looks super cool. Movie Ironhide in G1 colors just always looks so cool to me, and this is no slouch. What is a slouch, though, is him. He does this a lot. The hip ratchets have a lot of play in them, and the feet are very slick, so a lot of times he just does the splits and falls over. Pain. So I have extra felt pads left over from that Defensor thing, so I just stand him on that. The sculpt works great on this guy, especially in the legs. It's so intricate and detailed. There's a lot of nice mechanical looking stuff in there, and it never gets boring to stare at. Could have used a bit more paint though. Like, there's a lot of bare gray and red, which is a bit meh to me. It makes it look like a bit of a knockoff. He is rather large though, like huge, and I love that. He's chunky, plastic feels solid. I need to sneeze. No, it's gone. And the joints are nice and tight, other than those hips. He does some neat stuff too. The guns in his arms can pop out when pulling the smokestacks. You have this round cannon that was in the film, and then this square one that was never in the film, but they're still really cool. It's a very awesome gimmick. I really like that. There's also a cannon that deploys and fires out of one leg, but the missile spring is, because it's so old, it doesn't work very well. I can fix that. And a knife out of the other, which is 5mm, by the way. So Buddy here makes a lot of noises. Normally a leader class, you press a button on his chest, he makes like a sound, he makes a transformation noise and a sound in alt mode. Well, he does make a sound in alt mode, which I'll show off later, but what's rattling? Oh, this thing's rattling. So the first sound, so the sounds you can activate two ways, and I don't know why because the buttons are very close, but you have the mouth, which you can also activate by pressing this button. Strange. And then the minigun in his chest, you press this button back here, or you pull this switch, and like, let's where's the light switch? Where's the lights? There we go. That's, I can't find the light switch again. That's weird how they have two switches in two different spots. Those are the noises he makes. So this being an old leader, his posing isn't great. Like, it's fine, but just let me show you. So Ironhide's articulation is very much just an Ironhide toy. Like, a lot of the movie, pretty much all the movie Ironhide toys have really terrible articulation in like a lot of different areas, and this guy is no slouch at that. Head does rotate. It does start making noise when you rotate it, but it rotates. You got the shoulders that ratchet at very weird angles, like that. You got in and out. You have a bicep rotation, elbow bend, below the elbow swivel, no wrist swivel, but like that kind of accomplishes it. He's doing the splits, nothing at the waist, Jesus pose. Hips can go forward, they can go back, they can go in and out, and they're very soft. You have a knee bend, and then the feet can go forward and back. You have ankle tilt, and you have a toe bend, which is nice, but like, if I put him on a slick surface, he falls over. Oh my god. Look at this, look at this dude. Oh, now you're standing. Well, now he's doing a bit of a jig. If I like, pain. Stay. Stay. There we go. So that's the robot. He's unstable, but looks pretty nifty. The chunk factor is very nice in hand, which is why I really like all these leaders. And Ironhide is no slouch at that chunk. Like, he's a brick. You could probably hurt somebody with this. I wouldn't recommend it, but you probably could. Now, this transformation for Ironhide is probably the most fun out of all the Ironhides for me, and I've experienced them all. The Hunt for the Decepticons Deluxe, don't like that at all. Studio Series is a bit weird. First movie has got Automorph in it that just didn't work half the time on both of the copies I owned. So this one just appears to be the best, and I can get rid of the foam pads. Idiot. Come on, idiot. There we go. So to start with, you fold these out. It's really interesting how, like, a lot of this stuff works. Like, the grill on the chest is fake, but it just helps a lot because the other toys try to make it a real grill, and it looks odd. Also, I really love how you fold the wheels in and those little round bits come out, whereas on a lot of the other toys, especially Studio Series, you gotta manually fold them out afterwards, and it's kind of annoying. Getting this panel unpegged, though, is a bit scary. Not a huge fan of that, personally. Also, my buddy had one of these, and, like, this fell out of it. Also, I didn't write this in the script, but funny story about this, one of my friends, he was, well, I was on Buy looking for things to do for a Buy sponsor video, and I saw one of these on there for, like, I think it was 40 bucks or 80 bucks or something like that. It wasn't too expensive. And so I was like, I want to get that. And so I added it to my list, and I was watching it, and I told all my friends about it as well. Like, I found a GDO Ironhide that I want to buy. My buddy completely forgets that I said I was going to buy it, and then buys it from under me, and goes, and I went, oh, the GDO Ironhide sold. And he's like, yeah, I just bought one. And it turns out he bought the one I wanted. And so I was bugging him about it for ages, and then it arrived, and he's like, yeah, this thing's covered in, like, paint chips and stuff, and you better be glad you didn't spend 80 bucks on it. But he took it from under me, and I thought that was quite funny. Anyways, you can see how easy this is just going together. I say as I can't peg a certain part in. I do really like how there are tabs on the wheels here, so that when you peg everything together, they line up and don't want to fold in anywhere. Like, look at that. Look at how nice and easy that was. I was able to tell a funny story while you're not helping your case. There we go. That has got to be one of the easiest leader class transformations. Look at that, I'm done. That's it. That's all it took. That was very easy. This is a beefy ass truck. Like, it's a large boy. Oh, the furnace turned off. It's very good looking though. Other than the weird back windows and the under kibble, I think this is just perfect. Sure, yeah, I prefer the black, but the red just makes everything sort of pop. That silver front bumper really draws your attention, which is massive. And the details on the rims are very clean with the bolts and everything picked out in paint. The guns still work in this mode, albeit the square one does get caught a lot on the roof because of just how long the gun is, and I don't think there's enough clearance there. And he does make another noise. The bed of the truck can't hold anything, which is a bit pain, and like I said, the under kibble is a lot, but that's typical movie Ironhide stuff, so I don't mind. Also, transforming that deluxe Ironhide was not fun for this shot. But I definitely still recommend this, so long as it's cheap. Like, I see this go for like 150 to 200, and I wouldn't pay that much for it. But like, leader price-ish, like modern leader price-ish, is what I say it's worth. The hips I think I can fix really easily, so I'm not that bummed out by them. And now it goes back on the shelf, and I wait for the last two to come in, and then there's a big leader class video, stay tuned for that. But I have Starscream and I have the Last Night Megatron secured, so whenever they get here, it will be complete. So that has been my look at leader class Ironhide. Thanks again to Theo for sending this to me. I really appreciate it. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.